And then finally, the rumor mill. This week's rumor mill, the Green Lantern is apparently the next property that we just cannot get away from in the rumor mill machine. We have a couple of Venom rumors to discuss as Tom Hardy's time as the anti-hero is about to come to a close, and a possible holiday special over on Disney Plus in the rumor mill, plus a few more.
Maybe. It's classified.
Hello nerds, and welcome to the Rumor Mill. You have found the appropriate cheat code to get to the news before it becomes news. Here we will discuss rumors in the pop culture and nerdy realm of things, then we will discuss the probability that those rumors are legitimate, and then finally probably a little bit of my own personal speculation. If you want the more concrete news that has already become news, then there is a full news show over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom, which you can find linked down in the description, as well as at the end of this video. Now, let's see what all of those rumor mongers have to say, and which of them are just plain full of poop. Okay, so technically we have a couple of refutations, maybe, kind of. One confirmation, actually, was the Linkin Park thing. Again, talking about Linkin Park. One confirmation was Linkin Park, female vocalist. I'm pretty sure I gave that like a 60 to 70% likelihood of happening, and now it has happened, so technically that means I was right, but whatever. Not super right, because I wasn't 100% convinced. But the other one has to do with Josh Brolin. We actually talked about this last week. I don't know where this one would fall in confirmation refutation, because we got word that Josh Brolin has turned down. It's technically a rumor about a rumor, but word on the rumor mill is that Josh Brolin has turned down the offer to play Hal Jordan in the Lanterns series on Max that is going to be brought to us by James Gunn. So yeah, that's whatever. We do have some new sources for old rumors, so let's get into that, shall we? New sources are Silver Surfer. We now have a new source saying that the Silver Surfer is going to get a special presentation on Disney Plus. This was a rumor almost a year ago at this point. But kind of with all of the crazy jumbling about, it's kind of lost track, and now we have a new source coming in and saying, actually, that's still on the table. It's not 100% going to happen, but it very possibly could, according to the rumor mill. Also, new source for the Henry Cavill Wolverine situation. We have another source coming out and saying that Henry Cavill is going to be Wolverine going forward in the MCU. We've already talked about why this, at this instant in time, is not the case. Absolutely is not the case. They're not casting right now for that role. They haven't even written anything for that role outside of the presumably 2 cameos we're going to be getting from Hugh Jackman in the relatively near future. Beyond that, there is nothing in place for them to be casting anybody. So maybe they're considering him. That's possible. I don't think it's super likely. I think they're going to go with somebody a little bit younger. Not that Henry Cavill's super old, but like you're only going to be getting 3 movies out of Cavill like this. I mean, I don't know. I guess Hugh Jackman has kind of proved that slightly wrong. So could theoretically be going forward for a number of years, but just seems not as likely. So whatever, it's not a thing right now. Let's move into new rumors, shall we? Because that's where all the fun happens. First up on new rumors, we have Wakanda. A live-action Wakanda series is supposedly in the pre-development stages over at Disney. So we know that there is an animated Wakanda movie going on over in development stages at Disney. This one just seems to be piggybacking off of that. So just totally squashes it. And then like the source is a new source that I've never sourced from before. So it's just not a whole lot working for it. We're gonna say about 25% likely that there is a live action Wakanda movie in the works. From there we have Man-Thing. Speaking of special presentations on Disney Plus, Man-Thing is supposedly also on the table for a special presentation on Disney Plus. This one actually, we've heard, not specifically Man-Thing, but other possibilities for what they could do here. It worked out fairly well with Werewolf at Midnight, so okay. I don't know, there's so much going on at Disney right now, you can't really take it with much more than a grain of salt. So we're going to split the difference on this one and say about 50% likely that we'll be seeing Man-Thing special presentation, though I honestly would not be surprised to see a few more of those special presentation situations as they're trying to find ways to get people to come to the streaming platform, because everybody's losing money at that these days. So from there, we have a Blade rumor. This one is not to do with its demise. Funny enough, we have director found for Blade. Presumably, according to the rumor, we have Chad Stahleski is rumored to be the new director for the Blade movie. If that name sounds kind of familiar, it's because he's directed, I think, the first 3 John Wick movies. I know it's John Wick movies, I just can't remember exactly how many of them. He didn't do the last one. I think he did the first 3 though, and that was it. So yeah, Chad Stahleski, gonna put this one about 55. It's not a great source, but we do know that he has said in interviews that if he was going to join the MCU, he would want to direct Blade. So you at least have the desire from the man himself made known. So we're gonna put this one slightly above halfway there. We're gonna say about 55% likely that this one's true, though it honestly wouldn't surprise me if I'm wrong on that, and he is the guy. So anyway, from there, let's get back into Green Lantern, because apparently we're going to be visiting this one for a while. But Green Lantern, we have new rumors saying that there are 2 different people in consideration for Hal Jordan now that Josh Brolin is no longer on the table. Those 2 people are Matthew McConaughey and Ewan McGregor, both said to be in consideration for, I'm sorry, John Stewart, not Hal Jordan, John Stewart. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I apparently, like, I wrote down what was in the what was in the rumor leak, whatever, and it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't be John Stewart, it would be Hal. It would be Hal Jordan that they would be up for. John Stewart's a very different character, so interesting. I'm going to assume, we're going to go with what I have as the percentage on my piece of paper, but we're going to assume they meant Hal Jordan, because I don't think it would be John Stewart that they would be considering any of these 3 actors for. So John Stewart, both are equally as likely. There's no way to confirm or deny that they're being in consideration unless one of them gets cast, and I don't know how likely the casting would be for that, but the rumor is that they're being considered or potentially in communication with Marvel for this role. So we're going to say 50% likely, because there's no way to source that they're being considered for a thing. There's no way to confirm that. So yeah. Next, we have some gaming stuff to talk about. Specifically, we're talking about Final Fantasy. With the success of Final Fantasy XIV, which is, I'm pretty sure, is the MMO that is available on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. I don't think it's on Switch. I'm not a Final Fantasy player, so somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But we do have word that there are other Final Fantasy properties that are finally going to be making themselves over to Microsoft. Now that Sony's doing games on PC, you might as well just take some of that stuff over to the Xbox and broaden your potential sales by that much more, right? So the other games that are involved with this, presumably, according to the rumor, are the Final Fantasy VII Remake, all of the remakes that are involved in that game, as well as Final Fantasy XVI and all of the Pixel Remasters that are already in existence. So this is a fantastic source. Very rarely are the gaming sources wrong. So unless it's like leaks and data mines and stuff, because data mines can be misleading. But as far as like rumor goes, usually gaming stuff is correct. We're going to say about 85% likely, and that's probably pretty conservative on this case. 85% likely that we're going to be seeing those specific Final Fantasy games coming to the Xbox platform, and very, very probably even more. So from there, we have one final set of rumors, and they both have to do with Venom, the new Venom movie, The Last Dance, that's coming out very soon. The first one is a rumor about Knull, who is, if you don't read the comics or you're not familiar, Knull is, Knull, is the creator of the symbiotes. He's effectively the symbiote king, if you will, from their homeworld, which the name of the homeworld escapes me right now. Kind of a crazy badass villain in the comic books. And the rumor says that we will be getting Knull in an appearance in this new Venom movie. The second rumor has to do with Secret Wars. So we're going to be seeing Tom Hardy in Secret Wars to some degree. It doesn't say if it's going to be a cameo, if he's going to have any sort of significant role or anything like that, just that he's going to have his face on screen during Secret Wars. So the first rumor, the Knull going to be a part of this movie, I'm going to give that one about 30% likely. This is a very bad source, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had some sort of Easter egg referencing Knull, or maybe it's the end screen teaser or something along the, or after movie stinger, something along those lines, that there's some sort of passing reference. That wouldn't surprise me. The way it's worded in the rumor is that it's going to be a key plot point. I don't think that's freaking likely. So we're gonna say 30% for Knull being in the movie. And then the Secret Wars thing seems fairly likely, but the situation between Sony and Marvel is not super good these days, so we can't go super high with this one. 65% likely that we will be seeing Tom Hardy in Secret Wars once, you know, we get to that point, because they have said that this is the last Tom Hardy Venom movie, but that does not close the door to Tom Hardy being the character Venom in other movies going forward. So at least for a short time. So yeah, that's what we have this week for Rumors, nerds. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.